So we had this kid coming in over the course of, let's see, the program was like a 3-month program, I think, somewhere in that area. And he came about midway through, something like that, maybe 4 or 5 weeks in. And really unhappy, couldn't get him to smile, but really angry all the time. And the first time he was in, the glass cut wrong, and he was like in explosive mode. And so all the teachers then were kind of, moving in to help him calm down, and we had, knew to back off, and he just was boiling over. I've never seen somebody that has so much anger like that. And then I didn't think he'd come back, because they have to earn able to come back. They have to earn the reward at school with good behavior. And apparently that was a task for him because of his anger management problem.
What kind of school was it?
It's with, it's Mary M.
Okay.
And most of these kids, I guess like 90... Emotional disability kids. Most all of them are in foster care. So they're involved in CPS. They've been taken from their homes. And so who knows what this kid's background was. It was not good, though. And so this kid had been in foster care most of his life. And so I didn't expect him to come back. And the next week, he's back. And was a little less combative, he had an idea of what he wanted to do. And so we worked at it together. Then, again, thinking, I don't know if this is the class for him. But he was a little less angry this time. And then the third week, he's back again. And I was shocked. I looked at the teacher and was thinking, I was just, the fact that he had made it again, coming back. And it didn't seem like he was, honestly, I didn't know if he was enjoying himself or not, because he seemed, but every week it was less tension and less tension and less tension. And then on Mother's Day, he's making this this little dish. And he came in with a design for the first time. So he had thought about this and planned this out. And he wanted to make a heart, and he had a woman's name plus and then his name at the bottom. And I thought, well, maybe it was a Valentine's or even though the timing was off, but like a gift for somebody special. Yeah. And he said, and I asked him, and he goes, it's for my mother. And my first thought was, okay, well, he calls her by his first name. And obviously, though, he doesn't have he doesn't live with her. So he worked so hard and he focused so hard to create this piece. Everything had to be perfect, and it was the first time he had ever focused and concentrated on what he was doing and worked really hard to get the pieces cut just so. Then he did all the lettering, he painted the letters on, and he was really proud of what he did. And his last comment was, oh, she probably won't even like it. And that just broke my heart. And then the next week, the piece wasn't ready for Mother's Day, but I didn't know it was for his mom right at that time. Then he came in looking for it, and he said, well, it'll be ready the following week. And he was so excited, and he came in, and we had him wrapped up. He had 2 plates to pick up, and he left them for most of the class. And then halfway through, he very carefully took them, and he sat down, and he slowly unwrapped them. And he got the biggest smile that I've ever seen on his face. And he just sat there smiling. And it was the first time after him being there now for, 6 weeks roughly, that he had smiled. And he was so excited, and he said she's going to love it. And he couldn't wait to take it to her. And then he asked if I would wrap it special, and he was just carrying it. In his last words, he said, if I break it, I'm going to freak out. And I said, you're not going to break it, and she's going to love it. But it was the transition from him.
The 6-week smile.
The 6-week smile. So then I asked his teacher and I kind of pulled aside, and I said, I've seen this huge transformation in him. I was like, did you see him smile? And she said, you should see him at school. She said he's not getting into trouble, like he's focusing on his schoolwork, and he's a different kid. Like all of a sudden, he was excited to work towards something so that he would be able to come to class every week and create something that had meaning to him. So his behavior
improved at school.
His behavior improved drastically.
And that's why he was able to come back.
He was able to come back every time.
So it's kind of like a feedback loop. Like he wanted to come back, so that way he disciplined himself to be.
Right. He
to
knew that if he
behave better.
misbehaved or if he didn't do his homework or was not paying attention in class, he wasn't going to be able to come back. And so they only take 4 kids every week. So it's the first 4 kids to get on the list.
Mm.
So he had to work hard in order to get his name on the list first. And he did. So we're really hoping that next we're able to have them back next time and that he can, continue. Because I saw enormous changes in him. I actually had to walk out of the room because it made me cry to see his face look at that plate. And I was just like, and he didn't like to be touched. He didn't want his back patted or anything. And by the time he left, he was like reciprocating it, kind of thing. He felt good about coming in there. And then he started helping me clean up after the end of every class and pitching in and asking what he could do to help. So night and day from the kid who walked in angry at the world.
Yeah. Crazy. Cool.
So.
All right. Well,
Great
thank you
story.
very much.
You're welcome.
For your time.